Hello everyone, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. Today we are going to be doing a real quick their next move type of reading. So we are going to see what your person has planned next in regard to you and in regard to the connection. With that said, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. If it does not resonate with you, then it is not meant for you. For pile 1, we have Malachite. For pile 2, we have Amazonite. And for pile 3, we have Celestite. Hello, pile 1. Let's take a look to see what your person's next move is in regard to you and in regard to the connection that you share with them. Okay, let's see my pile 1s. What is your person's next move? Okay, we have the Fool, which is good news because it seems as though they will be taking a leap of faith, and hopefully that leap of faith is positive movement forward toward you. We have the Four of Wands jumping out next. And let's get one more card out here. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like when it comes to this connection, your person is wanting to take that leap of faith in order to deepen the level of commitment within the connection that the two of you already have. The Fool, of course, he can be known as a casual, non-committal type of guy, and I'm only referring to him as a guy because it is a male on the Fool, but any, gender can be placed in there. Either way you slice it though, my pile 1s, the Fool is representing here this person taking a leap of faith toward a new beginning within the connection that they share with you. Like I was saying, the Fool can represent casual or non-committal. However, with two cards that represent commitment jumping out right after the Fool, there is this stronger indication, a much stronger indication that this person wants to move this connection forward toward a much more stable and committed relationship. I feel like what that could also mean, though, especially starting out with the Fool, is that for some of us we might be in a non-committal or casual relationship with this person right now. Could be somebody that we are dating, but we're not exactly exclusive yet. It could be somebody who we started off with as friends with benefits, or we have this sort of situationship thing going with them. But what their plan is to take this leap of faith toward a new beginning with you. And this new beginning involves a much more stable, much more secure romantic relationship. Now, for those of us that are already in established relationships, the Four of Wands is a card which can indicate moving house. And it's a card of, yet again, deepening the level of commitment within the connection. So either way you slice it, your person's planning on taking whatever the next step is in regard to your connection. They're wanting to move things forward, move things ahead. They want this, new beginning with you. So even, let's say, for those of us who have been in connections that are struggling, it seems as though your person's main priority is to bring the connection back to a place of peacefulness, stability, and security. And ending with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like further solidifies the commitment, but I also feel like it's a card that's going to bring up that your person's trying to prove themselves to you. They're trying to prove themselves as being loyal, prove themselves of being worthy of moving this connection forward, or of being in the relationship with you. It just seems as though your person is wanting to move things forward. It seems as though your person's wanting to deepen the level of commitment. And I do feel like one of the very next steps that this person is going to be taking is going to be them, advancing y'all to whatever the next step or phase is for the connection itself. I'm going to get a couple of oracle cards out here, maybe 2, maybe 4, I'm not too sure. And I want the oracle cards to act as confirmation for some, and I want the oracle cards to act as maybe some further messages in regard to what it is that this person is planning on doing next. But I feel like in a reading such as this, any little tidbits of confirmation surrounding the current energy of the connection, or what it is that you've been through or have been going through with this person, will make it feel a little bit more like it's meant for you. So let's get into it, my pile ones. Let's get some oracle cards out here in regard to the situation with your person of interest. We have the must list. So be unapologetically self-loving, decide on must-haves, and then release it into the universe. One thing that's going to bring up for me, maybe in regard to confirmation, and of course won't resonate with everybody, but maybe for some of us, like, we were manifesting this person. Like, we have been creating this sort of must list for ourselves to follow. We had, but like maybe even before we met this person, we wanted this person, or like we had certain deal breakers, certain non-negotiables, certain must-haves in regard to what it is that we were looking for in a romantic partner. And perhaps this person has a lot of the traits that we were searching for. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for some of us. Basically, I guess if you were trying to manifest love and then this person waltzed into your life, it's highly likely that, you know, not only is this your person, but it's perhaps a little bit more confirmation that this is your pile. Okay, we have expectations, and confirm you want the same things. Prioritize the relationship. Expectation yields result. And I feel like when it comes to that expectations card, the two of you do want the same things. You know, and this person, again, you both share a lot of the same values and a lot of the same life goals in regard to this romantic relationship, or in regard to life itself. I feel like it goes in line with this person meeting a lot of the, like, let's say, expectations that you wanted in a partner, that this person has a lot of the traits that you wanted in a partner, etc., and so on. Let's get another oracle card or 2 out here. I guess we are pulling either 3 or 4. But I do feel like when it comes to this person, and even when it comes to this connection, let's say, something that could also be a little bit of confirmation when it comes to you and your connection with them, is that you've recently been discussing what it is that both of you want from the future. You've been discussing what life would look like if the two of you were to move in together, or if the two of you were to be in a relationship together, or if the two of you were to, you know, move forward toward, like, if you've been together for a while and we're starting to get engaged, married, move in together. You know, the two of you have had discussions about what it is that you want in the future. And I feel like for the newer connections, it's similar. The two of you have had discussions about what it is that you want for the future. But they maybe haven't been so focused on what the both of you want with one another, especially if this is something new or something fresh. I hope that makes sense. Okay, we have one date. And I feel like one date, first of all, it says give it at least one date. It takes time to get to know one. Take a chance and switch up your type. First and foremost, I feel like, just as far as this reading is meant to be, this person is taking a chance, or this person is going to shoot their shot, etc., and so on. I feel like what could be important here as far as confirmation is the switch up your type. So for you, this person that maybe now you're suddenly interested in is not your usual type at all. You know, especially if there's, let's say, like a certain look that we go for, if there's a certain thing that we look for in people, and maybe that has, like, just gonna say, again, don't shoot the messenger, maybe that hasn't exactly worked out for us, and that's why we started to switch up our expectations, or switch up our must list, our deal breakers, our non-negotiables, etc. Either way you slice it, pile one. And now we are dating someone, or starting to have feelings for somebody who is so not our usual type. So again, that could be a little bit of confirmation for us. And lastly, we have exclusive. Okay, so girlfriend, boyfriend, commitment, possible marriage material, or life partner, not dating other people. And I do feel like that is the direction that this connection has been heading in. I feel like for many of us, that is exactly what's going on right now. We're both starting to look at one another as life partners. For those of us already, let's say, in a committed relationship with this person, we're moving forward toward whatever the next step might be. I feel like for those of us that are just dating or we're friends with benefits, we're moving forward toward commitment and exclusivity. And I feel like anywhere across the board, neither one of you are dating other people right now. You're both very much so interested solely in one another. I really, really hope that makes sense. My pile ones, I hope the oracle cards added a little dash of confirmation for some of us, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend. Hello, pile 2, my Amazonite pile. Let's take a look at what your person is planning on doing next in regard to this connection that you share with them. Okay, let's see, what are their plans? What are their next moves, my pile 2s? After we get a few tarot cards out here, we will be pulling a couple of oracle cards as well. And I'm hoping that the oracle cards have some confirmation aspects to them for you. Okay, that because going through their next move, it's not really too specific, but I'm hoping the oracle cards add a little bit more specificity or confirmation for those of us who are listening to this. So my pile 2s, we start out with the Well. The Well, first and foremost, is going to bring up deepening the emotional bond that the two of you have together. So you might find this person, trying to get to know you better. You might find this person trying to, chat with you more, that sort of thing. Let's see if we could get any other cards to jump out. I don't want to leave this as just one card, but let's see. 2 more shuffles, and then it might just be the Well, because nothing else is jumping out. Okay, we've got the Well, and then we've got the 7 of Wands. The Star, though, is at the bottom of the deck, and since we don't have a third card to work with, we shall work with the bottom of the deck, my friends. So, with these cards, especially with the Well again is indicative of someone for me, it's somebody trying to get to know you better. So for many of us, this could be a newer or a less established connection. However, for those of us that have a more so established connection, I could look at the Well meaning, again, us deepening the emotional bond that we have with one another. Even if we're in an established connection, even if we've been together for a hot minute, it's basically breaking new emotional ground with one another in whatever way that would make sense for you and for your connection, my pile 2s. But for many of us with these lesser established connections, the Well for me is going to indicate the emotional bond between you both. And it seems like for many of us, this is something that's just starting to be cultivated, and it's something that's currently beginning to form, let's say. So we might not have been too close with this person before. Could be somebody that we've just met. Maybe could be somebody that's more of an acquaintance or a friend, so we never really got into any of these, let's say, more or less deeper topics with them. Whatever the case might be, pile 2, it just seems as though this person's next move is getting to know you on a deeper level. Okay, and I feel like they're trying to get to know you, the real you, if that makes sense. And I do feel like the real you makes sense to me with the 7 of Wands jumping out next to the Well, because the 7 of Wands can indicate guardedness. And I feel like this is where, even if it's a newer connection or a more established connection, we are, quote unquote, breaking new emotional ground with this person. Because the 7 of Wands to me is, especially in a reading with this little cards, is going to indicate that you're a little guarded and your person's a little guarded, or one of you is very guarded and the other one's a little guarded, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. I just feel like somebody's got their guards up, or both of you have your guards up, and that the two of you are basically trying to break down each other's barriers. And not in a bad way, not in a forceful way, but I do feel like your person might view you as being somebody who's guarded or somebody that's not always saying exactly what's on their mind. And I feel like you feel the same way about your person. Now, I feel like this also makes a lot of sense maybe for those of us that are in a friends with benefits type of connection or some type of casual thing going on, because it does seem like both of us are fearful to let the other person know that we've caught feelings. And of course, if this is more so about an acquaintance or a friend, both of us are scared of rejection. And I feel like right now, the way that both of you are coping with those fears of rejection and those fears of moving this connection forward, basically, is that the two of you are trying to get to know one another better. Like the two of you are trying to show an intense amount of interest in one another, in hopes perhaps that one of you opens up so the other person doesn't have to be the one that breaks that barrier, or like that, completely lets their guard down and expresses the exact way in which they are feeling. I feel like in this connection, the two of you do have mutual feelings toward one another. I feel like both of you are very hopeful that this connection, whatever it is right now, can evolve into something much more. I feel like both of you, with the star at the bottom of the deck, have very idealistic viewpoints about one another, or think about the other person very idealistically. For some, this could be a crush that we've had for them and that they've had for us for a hot minute now. And just overall, I feel like this person's next move or next course of action is to continue to try to get to know you better, to continue to, again, really, and I feel like that's the thing too. Both of you are beginning to let your guards down with one another, in the sense that we are having these more emotionally fulfilling, or emotionally intimate conversations with one another. However, I do feel like where we get stuck is that, total expression of feelings that's going to allow for this connection to make some positive movement forward. Either way you slice it, though, we are definitely creating and cultivating a stronger bond with this person. Now let's get some oracle cards out here that I am hoping to act as confirmation for some of us in regard to the connection itself. Maybe some further messages about what their next move is. And we have game face starting us out, taking things very seriously, a competition, the look, in it to win it, and fake it till you make it. So one thing that comes to mind, especially with the look, is basically, we've caught the vibe that this person has feelings for us, perhaps based on the look. And of course, you would know the look if you saw the look. I feel like when it comes to this too, like this taking things very seriously, neither one of us are trying to let our guards down around the other person. That's basically what I'm getting from the game face card. And I feel like for some of us, maybe that is, again, a little bit more of confirmation, where we've caught the vibe that this person likes us. We're thinking there's no way they couldn't have caught the vibe that we like them. Whatever the case might be, neither one of us are ready to completely let our guards down and express the way in which we feel about the other. Also, another thing too, when it comes to game face, maybe you guys get together and watch sports with one another. Maybe the two of you are on the same sport team, or like intramurals type of sport team. Maybe you guys met each other at a rock climbing gym or on a hike, etc., and so on. So with that game face card, we might like the same sports teams. We might get together and watch sports games. Really, there could be a number of possibilities here, but maybe there is some hobby or activity that the two of you do that's more of like a game or a sport or some type of physical activity. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get a couple more cards out here. We have passion. Okay, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. And even with that, I do feel like the two of you have insane chemistry with one another. I feel like the two of you, even with that, like, you look very idealistically at each other. The two of you have a lot of fun when you get together. The two of you have mutual romantic feelings for one another. It just seems as though neither one of you wants to open up to the other person, despite the amount of deep, emotionally intimate conversations that the two of you all have had and will continue to have, since that is being relayed as this person's next move or continued move in regard to this connection. Okay, we have missing you. And I feel like missing you, first of all, it's going to bring up so sad, lonely, or alone, physical separation, let go and move on, thinking of each other / you. I don't really feel like it's the let go of each other and move on, and I also don't really feel like it's the separation. I feel like if anything, maybe it's a physical separation, like the two of you aren't in the same proximity as one another anymore. Like, for example, if we've been friends with this person for a very long time and we went to high school or we went to college with them, and now we both, you know, even if we live within 20 minutes of each other, we still have different jobs now and we don't get to see each other every day like we once did, etc., and so on. That could be part of it. The physical separation could, of course, mean that maybe we live at a distance from this person at this point in time. Okay? But even if it's not that, you know, we've got hundreds or thousands of miles separating us, it could very well be that we just don't get to see this person the same way as we used to anymore. Okay? Like, especially if this is a friend or a colleague that we are asking about as we're listening to this reading. It could be that maybe you all don't go to school together anymore. You don't work together anymore. So you aren't seeing this person day in and day out like you once had. I do feel like this person thinks of you often, and I feel like this person lets you know when they do. I feel like this is someone that you are in close communication with. So that's another thing. Take it as it resonates. This reading might not resonate with you, especially if you and this person are no contact. Because to me, what I get from this reading is that you and this person see each other and communicate with one another very often. And I feel like when it comes to that thinking of each other and thinking of you, if this person sees something that you like, if this person sees that one of your players on the fantasy football team of yours is doing very well, they would shoot you a text. Like, it just seems as though this person definitely lets you know that they're thinking of you. And I feel like, again, that's another major reason why you've continued to catch the vibe that they have stronger feelings for you than they're letting on. And lastly, we have the mall crawl. Okay, on the hunt, retail therapy, meeting at the mall, pleasantly surprised, a happy find. When it comes to this card, one thing that I will say is maybe this person is someone that you like. It could be that you met at work, it could be that you met at the mall, it could be that you met while you were out shopping, etc. Of course, any of those could be possibilities here. But I also feel like this card brings me back to the thinking of each other and thinking of you. You know, like, this person is somebody that thinks of you, and this person's perhaps somebody that's thought of you in the sense of, you know, gifting you something that they have gotten you. Like, this person knows what it is that you like. They know what it is that you are into. And whether or not it's just a relaying of information or some type of communication that they sent you, or whether they've bought you something that they know that you will enjoy because the two of you have had conversations about it, it seems as though this person is very thoughtful and very considerate, and maybe even for some of us, very generous when it comes to you and the way in which they treat you. But all in all, I do feel like that is just about it. I do feel like, since the card is literally mall crawl, there could be some significance to that, and something that you either have just recently done with your person, or a date that the two of you have planned into the upcoming future could absolutely be a possibility and serve as some confirmation for some of us. I really hope that that makes sense, my pile twos. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend. Hello, pile 3, my Celestite pile. Let's take a look at your person's next move. Okay, let's see, what is your person planning on doing next? In regard to this connection, we start out with the Death card. So let's see what follows the Death card before we make an opinion of him. But let's see, my pile 3s, what is your person's next move? We've got the Two of Cups. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, best case scenario, let's say, to come out of the Death card is that he represents change, he represents new beginnings, etc., and so on. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, closing this out, and the Two of Cups in the middle, there's a strong indication that there will be a change of dynamic in regard to this connection into the very near future. And it does seem like to me, when it comes to the Death card here, this is speaking to new beginnings. Now, death is usually going to bring up that something is ending and something new is beginning. So for some of us, it could be along the lines of, well, let's just say for those of us that maybe are in, I guess I'll call them third-party situations. Like for those of us that are in third-party situations, our relationship or their relationship or both of our relationships might be ending, and now we can explore a new beginning with one another. For those of us who are friends with this person, maybe our friendship is ending, but we are moving forward into a romantic relationship, etc., and so on. Whatever the case might be, the strongest message from the Death card is that there's going to be a change in dynamic that allows for a new beginning between the both of you. There was a very similar message in pile 1, which actually leads me to say, because I don't think I said it, I am going to be pulling some oracle cards, and what I'm hoping to do with the oracle cards is make them be more so of confirmation for some of us, because when we go through what their next move is, it's super, super general. Like, this is what they're going to do, but it doesn't really describe the connection, for the most part, that you are in with this person. I'm hoping that the oracle cards gives us a little bit of confirmation, whether it's what the card is itself or the depiction that's on the card. Basically, again, to act as some confirmation for you so that you know the reading is meant for you. Let's get back into it, though. Death card is bringing me change of dynamic. It's bringing me, for some of us, an ending leading toward a new beginning with one another. But for all of us, it's literally a new beginning with one another that's more so romantically involved. I feel like your person's next move, especially, is to remove themselves from whatever situations are no longer serving them so that they can make positive movement forward toward you. They're going to shoot their shot. They're going to ask you out. They're going to take their chance. Whatever way to word it that makes sense. It's very strongly indicated that there will be a change in dynamic that results in the two of you moving forward toward a committed relationship with one another. You know, your person is finally taking the next step that they have to take to move this connection forward. I really, really hope that that makes sense. For me, it seems as though this is a new beginning in love for the both of you. It seems as though there's, mutual, I'm going to say love and like. So obviously, if this is a very new connection, it would be that this person likes you a lot. But there's going to be a new beginning, and that this new beginning is full of mutual love or like, mutual respect, mutual romantic feelings, let's say. This person definitely reciprocates your energy, and this person is somebody that's going to put in the utmost amount of effort that they possibly can in order to keep this relationship between you both happy and healthy. And the Wheel of Fortune, to me, it's not only bringing change of dynamic, but it's also bringing, like moving something forward, advancing the connection. It really seems as though your person is taking whatever the next step is very soon into the near future. Very soon into the near future, they are shooting their shot, taking their chance, etc., and so on. This person also feels very, very, very strongly about you in the sense that they feel like you are, their love of a lifetime or their soulmate. And I'm saying that because the Two of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune can both bring up love of a lifetimes and soulmates. So now let's get some oracle cards out here. Again, I'm hoping the oracle cards are a little bit more of confirmation, but we start out with the card, I like you. So someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun flirting, want to date. Okay, so again, that's just giving us a little bit more confirmation, or a little bit more confirmation as to what the message is from the tarot cards. Your person wants to move this connection forward. There are mutual feelings here. Okay, we have realize your light. You have to be healed to attract healed. You are a divine being having a human experience. To be honest, what that leads me to wanting to say, aside from like the message on the card itself, which is beautiful, is the fact that the two of you might have similar spiritual or religious beliefs, or the two of you commonly talk about religious or spiritual things. And I'm getting that mainly from the you are a divine being having a human experience. For me, what I take from that as far as confirmation for some of us is that you and your person might be, let's say, very much so into astrology, or very much so into tarot, or, again, have similar religious beliefs. Maybe there's certain spiritual beliefs or spiritual topics that the two of you have discussed with one another. That's a topic of conversation between the both of you that y'all have had, and that you'll both have a lot of interest in. So I hope that makes sense for some of us. Okay, we have Hand of Cards, which again reiterates this taking a chance from the Wheel of Fortune. It also brings up like risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, gambling. I feel like the not showing hand could of course be that maybe right now, or in the beginning of this connection even, we weren't so open with our feelings, and now this person's finally shooting their shot. I feel like the risk could of course be if there's a third party situation sort of thing happening. Could also be of course if we're friends with each other, there's a risk of losing the friendship if one of us makes a move, etc. But this person seems to be way beyond that. Like they've moved past that risk or whatever risk might be involved, and they're very much so interested in advancing this connection forward. The thing that I want to say with the Hand of Cards is that maybe the two of you have played cards together, maybe the two of you play board games together, or some similar type of tabletop games with one another. Maybe that's something that the two of you have in common. Maybe that's something that the two of you and your friends have gotten together for. Maybe your person is somebody who gambles, like literally gambles. Or maybe they are somebody that, like maybe even with this, like maybe you guys have gone to a casino together as a date, or, to go hang out with all your friends if the two of you are only at a friendship level with one another, etc. and so on. Maybe your person likes to play poker. Maybe you and they have played poker together, etc. and so on, whether it's a board game, whether it's a card game, etc. That's just the vibe, or as a piece of confirmation that, again, might serve as some confirmation for some of us who are listening to this. And now let's get one more card out here, my pile threes, again, as a little bit of confirmation. I actually had two fly out. We've got Paradise and Inner Work. So the Paradise card is going to bring up happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. We've got the Inner Work card with heal yourself first. You'll attract what you are. Choose partners that want to grow with you. I do feel like both are true. I feel like this card, I feel like this connection is a connection that is moving forward with one another, that the two of you enjoy your time with one another very much, etc. Have a lot of fun together. I also feel like this is a connection that has the ability to grow and to learn with one another throughout time. When it comes to the Paradise card, honestly, the picture that's on it is, for some reason, again, as a thing of confirmation, maybe you or your person has basically a landscape type of tattoo. And if it's not like a landscape, maybe there's I'm literally getting like a sun tattoo. So I don't know if that makes sense. But for me, it's just coming through as like more so of some type of like nature-y, landscapey type of tattoo that we might have. I don't know if that's going to resonate for anybody, but that's something that I'm picking up on. And then with the Inner Work card and all the books on it, kind of brings me to like either you or your person read a lot, or you two have recommended books to one another. It seems like there might be a lot of compatibility in what it is that the two of you consume as far as entertainment, whether that's books, movies, TV shows. There's a lot of compatibility in that regard, and the two of you like a lot of the same things. So my pile threes, that's about it. Thank you so much. I really hope that some of the oracle cards did have a little bit of confirmation for some of us who are listening for this or listening to this. Thank you so much my pile threes, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend.